Hi angels, welcome to Earth Angel Energy. I'm the Earth Angel and today I'm bringing you another pick a card reading, and today's topic is how do people feel when they look in your eyes? So when people make eye contact with you, how do they feel? I have 3 piles for you. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Go ahead and take a second, see which pile resonates with you, and we can go ahead and get started. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose the first pile, then this is your reading on how do people feel when they look in your eyes. Okay, I think you might have a pretty piercing gaze here because I feel like it immediately stands out for people. I get sort of this like excited feeling, intense feeling. So once again, you could have quite an intense gaze, or there's something about your eye contact that just like locks people in. There is also something very like warm and open about your gaze as well too. So I feel like you make people feel seen. There's something here where if people make eye contact with you, they feel like you're really seeing them. They don't feel dismissed. They could even feel a bit of a connection with you as well. People could also feel like a little bit of nervousness with that 8 of Cups, so even kind of feel the need to kind of like look away or break eye contact a little bit. Maybe they're a little nervous. You might make people a little bit shy. Yeah, there's a lot of depth to your eyes as well. People feel very seen by you, but sometimes almost to the point of feeling like you can almost see through them or see into them. It's sort of like, oh, I can't hold eye contact for too long. But there is something warm about it, something engaging as well. I think you fill people with warmth and you do make them feel at ease, but at the same time, maybe a little bit exposed as well. Let's get some more. It's honestly a very nice energy so far. Wow, Wheel of Fortune. You have a very intense energy with your eyes, eye contact. People could feel kind of the feelings or the beginning feelings of love as well. Yeah, definitely some shyness though. I feel like people might have a really hard time like keeping sustained eye contact with you, or they feel like they have to put in a lot of effort to maintain that eye contact. I think you make people feel shy or like a little bit nervous here. All right, what else do people feel? You could make people feel a little bit immature. There's something there's a lot of confidence to your gaze as well too. There's something warm, something inviting. Ooh, yeah. But if there's people who feel like super confident or feel like they maybe have like a bit of an ego, if they make like sustained eye contact with you, you kind of make people revert to that shyer or less confident or less. You kind of pull people back to like a shyer or younger version of themselves. Star, you feel like the star here with the High Priestess. This kind of reminds me of like, do you ever just see someone who's like incredibly attractive and like you try to make eye contact but it's hard? It's been a while since I felt that way, but I remember what that feeling was like. Yeah, Queen of Wands. You get people kind of like, ooh, kind of excited. I will say this though, there's something about you where, whether it's your gaze, kind of the way that you look, there is something that feels a little bit more elevated, a little bit more mature, not quite so accessible. You do feel a little bit inaccessible or kind of far away to some people. So even with the Queen of Wands, even though I think people do feel attraction to you, you don't just feel like someone that they can like reach out to or connect with really easily. You could be quite either friendly or open. You don't feel dismissive to me at all. People don't feel dismissed by you, but they still feel like they don't quite qualify for maybe much more than a quick word or a quick conversation. Emperor. Yeah, okay. Whew. I'm gonna be honest, if people feel like they're not an emperor when they make eye contact with you, they definitely feel like they're not an emperor then. It's very piercing. It's very... I'm almost getting this feeling that if people see you, and maybe they don't make eye contact with you, or they don't interact with you yet, I think they immediately see you as someone who's like high value or very well put together. There's something about your energy too. It's not even just your appearance. Your energy feels very elevated. But you feel almost kind of like a painting, or you know, like when you go to a museum and it's like something so beautiful, maybe it looks very expensive, very rare, but you know you can't touch it, and then when they make eye contact with you, it feels real, but it also feels very intense, connecting with you. Knight of Swords. Three of Cups. I will say though, if you're like actually connecting with someone, so if this isn't just like a stranger or like a passerby, an acquaintance, like if you've got friends or something, I feel like you have a very infectious energy. So if you're making eye contact with friends, with loved ones, I feel like you give people kind of like, ooh, like I'm excited. I don't know. I think also there's something infectious about your energy and maybe even your mood as well. So if you're not feeling like great, or if you're not like in a good mood and you make eye contact with someone, it can feel very piercing. But if you're like feeling good, if you're having fun and you make eye contact, kind of like, hey, you know, how are we doing? I feel like it really gets people like bubbly. I feel like people mirror and get infected by your energy very easily because of your eye contact or through your eye contact. All right. Yeah, the Fool. I feel like you also really help loosen people up. I'm also getting something too that maybe before people make eye contact with you, they might feel a little bit intimidated, but once you make eye contact, I just heard you have a twinkle in your eye that really just gets people kind of like, okay, like loosens up. Also, sometimes I hear you can make these little like facial expressions, or like maybe like you meet your friend's eye from across the room, or your partner's eye, or a sibling or family member, and you just like kind of give them a look or something, and it can really kind of like, oh, 3 of Swords. Oh, okay. I talk about this sometimes in my readings, but I feel like I'll kind of go on a tangent with the energy, and then I'll pull more cards and they're like, okay, next topic. With the 3 of Swords and the Ace of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles, I don't know if you'd be out here like breaking people's hearts or something though. I just heard if it's fleeting. You like, your gaze is powerful. Your eyes are powerful, and I think you know that. Like, people can get really shook by you. The last thing I will say is this: with the 3 of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles, there's something in your eyes that feels very... You know how you look in some people's eyes and they maybe look anxious or scared or a little shy? Yours say the complete opposite. Your eyes say like, I am good. You know, I feel good about myself. I am strong. I am powerful. Whether you know this or not, this is the energy of your gaze and how it comes off to people. And I think that confidence and that self-assuredness, I really like it. But some people, if they feel like they don't have it, it can feel a little bit like piercing. It's like, okay, have you ever had those moments, or just imagine, where like you're just really not feeling good? You're not having a great day. Like you're really, like life is just not it for you at the moment. And then you look in someone's eyes and you can just tell they're happy, or they're having a good time, or maybe they're like laughing with their friends. You kind of make eye contact with them and it just feels like, ooh, like that person's doing good, or that person's confident. I'm really not feeling good. If there's people who are in that energy, I do feel like it can kind of hurt, honestly. Because there is something in your eyes, you know, even if you have challenges in life, even if, you know, you're working hard and things aren't perfect, your eyes do say promise. I have promise. I have purpose. My life is going somewhere. And I think there's some people who don't feel that way. And when they look in your eyes, they know you're not faking it. You might kind of have that appearance of confidence. You have that appearance of being somebody who's like got it. Maybe not fully figured out, but somebody who's going somewhere. And when people see it in your eyes, they see that that's genuine, that you have genuine confidence, that you have genuine spark and passion for life. And if people don't have that, it can feel a little bit piercing. So I would say for you, Pile 2, regardless of where people are at in life, there's a piercing quality to your energy. I feel like you can really pull people in with your eyes. And I would even say, maybe you know this. If you don't, I would play around with this, because I think there's a lot of power and a lot of purpose in your gaze. Nice energy, Pile, and that's what I have for you. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, those who book personal readings with me, and my channel members who get early access to these pick a card readings. Thank you so much for being here once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, Pile 2. So if you chose a second pile, then this is your reading on how do people feel when they look in your eyes. Okay, I'm getting kind of like this spark. There's something that's very regal about your energy. It's something that feels very elevated. So I feel like when people look in your eyes, they immediately kind of get this feeling of like confidence or openness, maybe even like a little bit of awe here. So there could be something about your looks, your gaze, that just kind of, people notice. I don't feel like you go unnoticed. And when people kind of lock eyes with you, it's like, it's sort of this breath of fresh air, this feeling of excitement. I'll be honest, there's something here about like abundance. You look abundant. And so when people lock eyes with you, it almost kind of feels like people are getting a little piece of that. Do you ever just look at those people who seem very serene, very well put together, and their gaze, their eye contact just feels very like it draws you in. It almost feels sort of like luxurious. Something about making eye contact with you feels luxurious. Now with the Three of Wands and the Seven of Swords, I feel like you do make people feel a little bit shy when they make eye contact with you. It doesn't quite feel as piercing as pile one. So pile one felt very like a piercing gaze. I feel like for you, it's more of like a intriguing. I'm almost kind of imagining, you know the actress Cate Blanchett? So like her gaze, where it feels very like luxuriant, sort of like they can see through you, but also they're drawing you in kind of energy. I really like it so far. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Grab the rest of the deck. Okay, Nine of Cups. Yeah. Almost like kind of magical. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of energy transfer that happens when you make eye contact with people. Something about your energy feels very luxuriant. It feels like it's kind of bubbling over like a glass of champagne. And that's another thing too, is like when you make like sustained eye contact with people, you will exchange energy with them and people feel your energy, and I guess they have some like response. Page of Wands. Yeah. Like intrigued. When people make eye contact with you, they feel intrigued by you. They feel curious about you. It does feel fleeting though. I feel like you also kind of have the eye contact that immediately engages people. So people immediately feel connected to you when they make eye contact with you. I'll be honest, some people could feel a little bit shy about making eye contact with you, or even like struggle holding your gaze. Actually, one thing I will say is for pile one, it kind of felt like they would make eye contact with people and then people would kind of like look away. It feels like with you, it feels more like a lot of people are scared to even make that first eye contact with you. But once they do, maybe you engage with them. I feel like that's when this kind of bubbly energy comes forward. Yeah, the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. I just see like a lot of energy being transferred when you make eye contact with people. Two of Swords, yeah, and the Tower, and it's kind of intense. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Now, if this is not strangers, if this is like friends, family, people you're just like chatting with, it feels like a very like exciting kind of confidence boosting. You ever know when you're just having like a really fun conversation with someone and you like make eye contact with them and you can just kind of feel like the energy, you can feel the electricity? That's what I feel. I feel like when people make eye contact with you when they're chatting with you, it's like, ooh, like I feel this kind of bouncing off of excitement. I do get the sense too that there is like once again that energy transference, but it feels really strong with you. So like with pile one, it was like people kind of being influenced by their mood when they make eye contact with them. I feel like with you, there's something about this sort of like abundant, overflowing energy that you have that people pick up on. So people could be in kind of like a dull mood, and then if they're talking to you and making eye contact with you, I feel like you really uplift people. Nine of Swords. Ooh, okay, you do make some people really nervous. Okay, you are quite attractive, and I feel like a lot of people do find you quite attractive. And if they're making eye contact with you, I feel like people can get very like nervous or anxious. Ooh, yeah, there's something very elevated about you in particular, and I think it can be quite intimidating for some people. I do think also if you make eye contact with some people, they can kind of get in their head and even feel a little bit insecure about themselves. Let's get a little bit more. You're like healing though. It's kind of reminding me of the other pile too, where there's like definitely some similarities here. But one thing that I'm noticing is there also seems to be this like initial attraction or kind of being intrigued by you, and maybe kind of assuming that you aren't as open or as like connected with other people as you are. And then when people make eye contact with you, we have this star energy. So there could be something very soothing or something very open or warm. Like people could look at you and think that when they make eye contact with you, you're going to be really like harsh or kind of like, you know, maybe like RBF kind of energy. But there's something very soothing about your eyes. I keep just getting like a Kate Blanchett kind of energy. I think for a masculine energy, maybe like a Ewan McGregor or something. There's a lot of different examples that I can think of, but just like that spark in their eye where they seem serene, they seem confident, they seem abundant, and there's like this bubbling of energy. All right, anything else? How do people feel when they look in your eye? Yeah. With the Fool. There's just like this confidence that people feel. So you could be good at making eye contact, or when you're interacting with people, there's a level of confidence that I think gets people really excited. Ultimately, I feel like people feel trusting. They feel like they can rely on you. I also think there's something here about you kind of boosting people's confidence by making eye contact with them, especially if it's sustained or you're having a conversation. It's sort of like I can take on the world kind of energy. I do feel like your gaze is very powerful. I don't think that you use it lightly, but when you do use it, I think it has a very profound impact on people. It's really nice, honestly, pile 2. Very like confident, and if you can think of anybody that kind of reminds you of this energy with that kind of warm, inviting, electric gaze, definitely leave that in the comments. That's what I have for you. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, those who book personal readings with me, and my channel members who get early access to these Pick a Card readings. Thank you all so much for being here once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, pile 3. So if you chose a third pile, then this is your reading on how do people feel when they make eye contact with you, when they share a gaze with you. Pile 3, I'm going to be so real with you. I think people are getting a little bit excited and a little bit turned on when they make eye contact with you. Now, we're going to talk about people who are attracted to you because I think there's a lot of them. But if it's like friends and family, I'm just getting like either you're kind of like a life of the party. You don't even have to be like the loudest or the most like out there. But you ever just like make eye contact with somebody and it's like, let's go. Like, let's have fun. Like there's something very fun, very exciting about you. People kind of know like when they meet your gaze, like it's gonna lift them up. It's gonna bring them up. You're always kind of bringing great energy to interactions, to family members, to friends. I'm even getting people who are not necessarily like inclined, like you might be the wrong gender for someone to be like attracted to you in that way, but people still like get excited by you, even if it's not like you know, like that. Like they still are like, ooh, like they look really good, or like, ooh, like I don't know, there's something very like seductive about your, like very, very seductive. Now with the 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands, you could get some people in their feelings, like, especially if they can't have access to you like that, if they can only just like look you in the eye. People fall in love with you. I'm gonna be so real. With the 2 of Cups, the King of Wands, like, people get real excited. People can get real motivated by you as well too. If any of you like go to the gym and you make eye contact with somebody, they'll start like doing more reps. Like, it's a very there's a lot of kinetic energy here. Your gaze feels like a spark. It's almost like there's all this kindling, and then once you make eye contact, it like lights it on fire. Ooh, I feel like you spark people's creativity. I feel like you motivate people. It's like if people are kind of in a slump or in a funk and you kind of give them that look, it's like, ooh, like let me get up, let me get going. 6 of Wands, come on, like what do you want me to say? You get people so motivated. Ooh, 8 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. I'm gonna be honest. If you make eye contact with people, some of them, you know, they think like, should I go after them? Should I go towards them? That's really up for them to decide. But I'm just getting this very like fiery energy. Your gaze feels like a spark. 3 of Pentacles. You could also do like that come hither look, you know, maybe you're like in a relationship or you're with somebody and you just kind of give them that look. It's like, okay, let's go. The Tower. You also are very distracting when you like look people in the eye. You could have had this happen before too, where like maybe you're talking with someone and you like kind of give them like an intense look and they kind of like trip over their words or like forget what they were saying. If not, I would recommend trying that because I think it'll work. 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, you could make people like a little bit shy. Even people who are not normally like shy, you could like look at them in the eye and make them a little shy. Ooh, 8 of Wands, Moon. I'm telling you, pile 3, like you get people like real excited. Okay, we have the Moon, the 3 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. You definitely make people want to like talk to you, but there's something here where you get people going. Like you make people like want to like talk to you. Like I just get like a lot of like excited energy. Like there's some sort of like power or energy in your gaze. It's almost like if people make eye contact with you, it's almost like a blessing or like a spark. There's something about you just like sparking people with your gaze. 10 of Cups. No, people like really. Oh my gosh, I just keep getting this like, if you like make eye contact with people, it's like, should I ask them out? Like, should I feel like there's a lot of intimidation, especially if you're in a relationship and people can tell you're like with your partner. People are not really gonna like interfere. Also, I'm gonna be honest with the King of Wands, like your partner also could be slightly intimidating if you have a partner, or this could be a future partner. But there's definitely this feeling of like, should I say something? Like, should I ask them out? Like, but see, they're way too scared. People are either way too scared, or you're in a relationship, or there's just this feeling of like there's no way on God's green earth that this person would be interested in me. But like, man, we just made eye contact. Like, is that the green light? Oh my gosh. Anything else for pile 3? Anything else for pile 3? 5 of Wands. Ooh, I'm telling you, your gaze feels like fire. Now I'm gonna be honest, this is super random. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but there could be some people who maybe are like in kind of a wild energy, or they misconstrue your look. Have you ever like seen that where somebody's like, you looking at me like you want to fight? I don't know if you've ever had that experience. I feel like there are some people who feel that way internally. Devil, oh my gosh. I don't know if somebody made eye contact with you, was like they want to fight me or something. Like, I don't know. That's just coming through pile 3. Maybe you have. Shoot, maybe you got hands. I don't know. All right, let's see. Anything else for pile 3? Page of Wands, 7 of Wands. Yeah. It's definitely the kind of eye contact. I'll be honest, sometimes your gaze can even feel like slightly like provocative. With the Page of Wands and the 7 of Wands, like you know how to get people going, or you know what to do. You know, maybe you've had those moments where like you're like at the club, or like, you know, going out with friends and you see somebody that you're interested in and you like give them that look and they're like shook. Like that's definitely your eye contact, your judgment. Yes. One thing I will say too is sometimes people can feel kind of like they're a little bit under like the microscope. You're very expressive with your eyes, and your gaze can really tell people like you can communicate very clearly with your gaze. You know, you can communicate like I'm feeling you, and you can also communicate like I'm not feeling you. You can communicate your disapproval. I feel like your gaze feels very intentional. And people definitely feel your energy and feel your mood and feel your vibe based on your gaze. It's like unmistakable, and I feel like it's really intense. Like if someone disappoints you, or if somebody, you know, is receiving disapproval from you, that gaze will tell them right away. And I think it has a big impact on people. Like people don't like to make eye contact with you when you're upset with them, or if you're disappointed with them. At the same time, I feel like if you're feeling somebody, if you're excited, if you're trying to connect with somebody, I feel like that really, really excites people as well. Ace of Cups, yes. One thing I will say though too is it's like one thing I've noticed with all 3 piles is there's sort of this energy exchange where when you make eye contact with people, when you like kind of gaze at people, they feel your energy and there is that energy exchange. But for you, it feels like the most intense. It's like if you look at somebody with love, they will feel that intense love back for you. If you look at somebody with anger, they will feel that anger. If you look at someone with disappointment, they'll feel that. there's something here where there's a lot of intense energy. And honestly, out of all 3 piles, I think you have the most clear cut gaze. Like, there's really no ambiguity. You might not even have that much of a poker face when it comes to your gaze. Like, people know how you feel based on how you're looking at them, and they feel it too. 10 of Wands, yes. It's a big burden to carry, but the great thing is your gaze is powerful. Like, really. And, like, you can, I think, provoke kind of whatever response you want based on your gaze. So, you know, for some of you, you've got it like that, where if you're really feeling somebody, you know, give them the look. If you are upset with somebody and you want them to know, you know, you can give them the look, and they will get the message right away, and they will feel it. It's honestly kind of like a power that you have. So use it wisely, because I see that it is very potent, and there are some people who can low-key get triggered. So be responsible with your gift. All right, that's what I have for you, pile 3. Really cool messages today, really interesting stuff. I feel like the art of eye contact, the art of the gaze, is something that I think a lot of the collective is really excelling at, and I think it's having a big impact on people. All right, that's what I have for you. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons as you book personal readings with me, and my channel members who get early access to these pick a card readings. Thank you all so much for being here once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you.